This video is made in partnership with Paperlike. This is the iPad mini 7. I've been waiting for this device for a while now, and when Apple announced it, I was pretty underwhelmed by the changes they made. However, I still picked it up. I've been using it for a month or so now, and I think it's the iPad I've been wanting all along. So in this practical review of the iPad mini 7, I'll walk you through everything from the display and performance to gaming, productivity, and daily use. And I'll also share what I think could be improved in future models. So let's dive in. I've had my fair share of reviewing iPads in this channel. I've tried and owned almost all models, and for the longest time, the 11-inch variant was my go-to model. But over the past year or two, I started using my iPad less and less. I grew tired of constantly adapting to mobile apps. It felt like I had to relearn each app when I need to use it, and at that point, I would just rather use my laptop. In short, I haven't been able to rely on my iPad Pro as much as I thought I would. In fact, after trying the Surface Pro 11 recently, it made me realize even more what I've been missing on iPad OS, especially when it comes to Pro apps. Granted, app support isn't fully there yet with the new ARM chips, but at least you know that it's only a matter of time, and when they become compatible, you're going to get the full desktop version. But with the iPad mini, I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm using it purely as a tablet, maybe a little bit of pro stuff like photo editing, and I think that's where the iPad mini really shines. If there's one thing I could change about this device right now, it's gotta be the display. I can overlook not having an OLED panel. I think this 8.3-inch Retina display still looks really good. It gets decently bright at 500 nits of peak brightness, but it would have been really nice if this had a 120Hz refresh rate. I did get used to the 60Hz refresh rate of the iPad mini, but it still sucks that it's us consumers that have to compromise. Regarding jelly scrolling, I never really had an issue even when I first tested the iPad mini 6 3 years ago, and I don't really notice it with the iPad mini 7 as well, despite using it mostly in portrait. Some people say it's slightly better, some people say it's still the same, so my best advice is for you to check it out for yourself in person. The iPad mini 7 has the A17 Pro chip, which is the same chip on the iPhone 15 Pro, and I think it's plenty fast for most tasks, but obviously it's not as powerful as an iPad with an M chip, which I wasn't expecting that they would put on the iPad mini, but at the very least I was hoping for the current chip, the A18 Pro. The iPad mini also supports the new Apple Pencil Pro, which is a coin toss depending on what Apple Pencil you have. I personally sold my 2020 iPad Pro and the 2nd gen Apple Pencil, so this is a win for me. But if you don't have the Apple Pencil Pro or the USB-C version, then you're forced to spend money. Now, writing on glass has never been a pleasant experience, so one of the first accessories I get with every iPad I purchase is a Paperlike screen protector. I've been using one since 2020, and it's been a must-have ever since. I like using my iPad for writing, sketching, and reading, and having a Paperlike screen protector installed just makes these experiences much better because it makes it feel like paper. They achieve this by using a microbead technology called nano dots. It gives your strokes resistance, kind of like a pen when it hits paper, and this makes a big difference when it comes to accuracy and control when writing. So the overall writing experience is much more enjoyable. I'm not much of a reader, but I've been trying to read more, and this also adds a nice texture, so when you're reading, you get that nice book feeling when interacting with the screen. Aside from that, this screen protector is also very practical because it reduces glare and fingerprints while maintaining a sharp and vibrant display, and it also protects your screen from scratches. In fact, they're super confident with their product that they're offering a 100-day satisfaction guarantee, which I think makes it a no-brainer. Paperlike also makes other great accessories like a cleaning kit, pencil grips, cases, and many more. And if you want to check any of them out, I have links in the description below. One of the main reasons people are drawn to the iPad mini is its size. It has this approachable, user-friendly feel to it that makes it easy to pick up and start using. It's small enough to take anywhere and use discreetly, yet it's large enough to handle most tasks better than a phone. And this means I can easily take this with me whether I'm simply moving from one room to another, running some errands, or when I'm traveling from one city to the next. And since I have the cellular version, this device will always have internet connection and it won't be reliant on my phone, which is important to me because I've been using this as a planner. I like to start my workday by opening my iPad mini, looking at my calendar, and writing the things I need to do that day. This allows me to clear my head and stay on track, and whenever I need to step out of the office, I can always take this with me so I can always refer back to them. And this use case alone has been really helpful in keeping me sane. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm also trying to read more, and I've been using this iPad as an e-reader. It's about the size of a typical book, so I can read comfortably in bed. It's very light, and I can easily use it one-handed. In fact, if I was to do an as-built measurement for one of my architecture projects today, I would definitely bring the iPad mini over the 11-inch iPad just because of how much easier it is to handle. I can hold the Apple Pencil and Laser on one hand and the iPad mini on the other. It's also a great device for consuming content. Yes, it's not OLED, but the Retina display is still really pleasant, especially for watching YouTube videos, and the speakers are great for listening to music. I think it has a balanced sound profile, which is great. However, I don't think it gets as loud as I think it should. The iPad mini has also been my go-to device for researching. For example, when I'm on my sim racing rig and I'm looking for setups to test out, or when I'm relaxing on the couch and I think of something work-related, I just quickly grab the iPad mini to look that thing up or jot it down as a reminder for tomorrow. And speaking of work, this is also a really great photo editing device. It's a lot bigger than my phone so I can see more of my image, and it's just really fun to use. All I'm trying to say is the iPad mini has been my go-to device for almost everything, even casual gaming. The iPad mini is a small enough device that when you're playing games that require touch, like Mobile Legends, it's still really enjoyable. And when I need to use a controller, I've been using the GameSir Galileo G8 Plus, which is a Bluetooth controller that I used with the Z Fold 6, and it pairs really well with the iPad mini as well. You guys know I love Warzone Mobile, and it's been my go-to game to test these devices, and it runs really well on the iPad mini. The gameplay feels fairly smooth. I was able to run it using these settings with little to no drop frames. Most of them happen while I'm dropping in the game, but overall it's super enjoyable. And just to prove my point, I even got back-to-back wins while playing with this. I also played Assassin's Creed Mirage at the high settings pretty comfortably, but I've read somewhere online that the performance worsens after the free trial portion. I don't really know how real that is. If you have an experience, let me know in the comments, but it's definitely something to take note of. Battery life is also great in my opinion. After almost an hour of playing at night, 2 games of Warzone Mobile, and 20 minutes of Assassin's Creed Mirage, my battery went down from 100% to 76%. The following morning, I started my workday at 74%, losing 2% of battery overnight, and by 7:20 p.m., the battery had dropped to 34%, giving me about 5 hours of screen time during a 10-hour workday. And during that time, I was using my iPad for planning, researching, watching YouTube videos, and reviewing my script for this video, and I thought that was pretty good. I have mixed feelings about suggesting improvements for the iPad mini because I know this current version already meets the needs of most users, and adding new features would likely increase its price. But on the other hand, there are a lot of features that I would love to see in this model, and I think it would make this the ultimate iPad. I think what I'm really looking for is an iPad mini Pro. Something that has thinner bezels, Face ID, 120Hz is definitely a must, a brighter display since this is a device you'd want to bring outside, a better chip so I can run future games at higher settings and not worry about it. I really wish that they had just put the A18 Pro chip on this device so it didn't feel like they gave us the bare minimum of upgrades, because when you've been waiting for this device for 3 years like myself, it's kind of hard to get excited about it. Regardless though, I think the iPad mini 7 is a great all-around tablet. It offers a perfect balance of usability and portability, and I believe it represents an iPad in its purest form. Let me know what you guys think of the iPad mini 7, and if you made it this far in the video, insert the word pure in your comments below. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you loved it, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.